Hi, I'm Andy Mand, and since COVID-19 has come on, we've had to stop all of our training, and as a result, our dogs have been getting a little bit slack, and we haven't been as sharp as we'd like to be. Trials have been postponed for almost a year now, and a lot of people have been asking, how do we get some more training going, and so on. So we've been thinking about putting together small vignettes of different aspects of basic training and so on. Today what I'd like to do is focus on just the basic components of how do you start to heal with attention. This is a critical component for all of us, and most of the points are lost in healing. Dogs behind you, in front of you, not paying attention, you get lost, disappears, and so on. So what I'd like to do is to set the basic ground rules on how you might start your dog and get them to pay attention and come with you. And this will be valuable for folks that are just starting with a new dog, be valuable for folks that are saying, I know it all, but I want to sharpen myself, and for others that are just developing, getting ready for the next trial whenever that does come. So we want to cover off 4 different aspects. 2 are skills, basics, and 2 are kind of exercises. The first one is getting to yes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, and that is to get the focus that you need from your dog before you start healing. The second component that I want to talk about is the one-step healing piece. It's a very, very beginning, and that's just teaching your dog to understand the footwork and the body language so that they know when to get going and move with you. And then what we've got is 2 different training components, one of which is the one-step heal training piece, in which you can start reinforcing the ability of your dog and the skill of your dog to come with you. And the second component is what I call as a healing circle. And the reason we have 2 is the precision one, quite frankly, for dogs oftentimes is boring. The healing circle is a dynamic, action-packed healing that really looks for excitement for the dog. And those 4 items will wrap up to a point where you at least can get your dog started, paying attention, starting to move with you at a heel. All right, thank you. All right, so the first step we want to talk about is getting to yes, or getting the dog's attention, just like Serenity is doing right now. And this is a very important aspect for trialing. So for instance, when you come into the ring and you're in front of the judge and you're getting ready to start your first healing pattern, you'll have a chat with the judge and so on, and then ultimately the judge will ask you, are you ready? And my favorite term is to say yes. And what that does is, if you've trained your dog right, is the dog will automatically look at you. So again, what this allows you to do is to come into the ring, have your dog kind of a bit relaxed. You're not demanding the watch all the time, although they'll usually be paying attention, but that allows them a bit of an opportunity to look around, and when it's ready to start the trial itself and the healing, is by saying yes, you've signaled to your dog, if you've trained them right, that this is the first start of the exercise itself. Focus on me, and so on. So the training or the teaching of the yes for your dog is exactly the same as the watch. And so it accompanies the watch, which you would use in some cases, but the yes I like to do when I come into the ring. So for instance, I'll give you an example. You want to make some noises in the distractor? Yes! Good job. So as you can see, is you could have people outside, crowds making noise and so on. Your dog may be a little bit skitterish or a little bit wondering what's going on, but the moment you say yes, the dog will then focus on you and says, it's ready to go. We're ready to go for work. Isn't that right? So the trick there, again, is to continue to work on the same way as the watch. Yes. And then give the treat itself. So yes, I use instead of a clicker as well. So yes is my clicker, only since you're not allowed to bring a clicker into the ring, I use a verbal, which in a rally I'm allowed to do, and at the beginning of any exercise I'm allowed to do in obedience. And at the end of an exercise, by saying yes, the dog recognizes it's an approval for a good job and then a release itself. So again, you need to work on that, so anytime automatically your dog will look at you when it's a yes and it's a positive experience. You can use that later on in utility and other aspects when the dog's farther away. If they recognize that as a clicker or the positive approval, is then they get the assurance even when they're quite far away, very similar to a clicker's behavior. All right, so the first part of healing is to understand, sit, wait, is that the dogs are really tuned into your body language, more so than verbal, in fact. So it's very critical for you to figure out what are the actions you're going to take physically when you expect your dog to do something. So for healing itself, you've got a couple of choices. You can move with your left leg first, or you can move with your right leg first. My preference is always to use my left leg, which is a physical indication to the dog that's closest to me, closest to my leg, that we are going to move together in tandem itself. Other successful trainers and trial folks use the right leg. I prefer to use the left. I keep thinking left is king or queen, and it signals to my dog not only if I go forward, but am I going to turn left, am I going to turn right. They can see the position of my foot and therefore follow that. So if they're paying attention, the left leg is telling them what to do. If I don't want my dog to leave, then what I do is I leave with my right foot. Good girl. So she understands now, right foot means I'm staying, left foot means I'm going to go. So again, you want to look for your attention on your dog. Yes. Heel. As you can see, the dog then follows. So when you're in a trial, you're going to use that left foot. So your job as the handler is to be consistent. Your job is to be consistent and clear as to what your message is for your dog. Wait. Your dog's job is to pay attention and to follow those instructions, both verbal as well as physical. My preference is by relying on physical more and more, although at this level when we're just starting we're going to use both verbal as well as physical, is later on if you get to the utility level and you can't say anything to the dog, if they understand what a leg movement means, if they follow that left leg, left turn, right turn, everything else, then you're going to be successful in even the higher levels. So what I'd like to do now is just to demonstrate again what I'd like you to do in practice. It's a one-step practice test for your dog to get understanding. You start with a yes, say heel, take half a step, and feed. No sit, no nothing. What you're looking for is a precision exercise that teaches your dog to move when you move based on the physical movement of your left leg and your verbal signal. Heel. So again, as you can see, she understands that. So what I'd like to do is to have Joy come in and demonstrate the same thing with a larger dog. So Joy, sit your dog. Are you ready?
No. Murdoch. Murdoch.
Forward.
Heel. Heel.
Just
Yes.
exercise finished.
Good boy.
Okay, so let me go in here again. So a couple of things to note is Joy didn't use the yes at the beginning, so we want to work on that so that you get the attention and the excitement. So you want to make sure in the yes component you make that training really fun for them. So yes, an immediate reward. Yes, an immediate reward. So they really have that Pavlov's training into them. That's a really great thing. I'm going to get rewarded and so on, get that excitement going and so on. The other one is for this exercise at the beginning, especially when the dog's not quite sure what you're doing, don't take more than one step. What you're looking for is the command, the leg movement, one step forward, half a step, dog still paying attention to you and moving with you. That's all you're looking for. You're training heel, move with me, not sit, not anything else. So again, reinforcing. It's a yes, get my attention, swing around, swing. Yes, heel, just one step, yes, and then a second yes to reaffirm that he or she's done the right thing. Okay. So far, we've been working on what I consider is precision work. Your footwork, how you move, what your dog is doing, the attention that they're doing. But dogs really learn by having fun. So if it's just that routine, standard obedience type of work that you do, the dogs tend to be a little bit sour after a while. And you can see in the ring oftentimes there's dogs that have been working on this thing forever and they are just kind of, I'm doing it because I know I have to do it, and they just do it. So what I always like to do is introduce something that's fun, less precise, but more action-oriented, which drives and makes healing a lot more fun. So the healing circle is something that I like to promote with all of my classes and all of my students, is to get them to work on just getting movement going on. So I'll demonstrate quickly, and then Joy will work with her dog. So as you can see, she pays attention. She's moving along quickly. But the trick for this is I'm not looking for exactly in the right position. I'm just looking for paying attention. If the dog looks away, then you're going to say, uh-oh, take it just a step back, and then just keep going. No correction, just uh-oh, and just carry on. And the faster you go, the more excited the dog will be. And as long as they're roughly in the right position and paying attention, you're golden. So what you're doing is, at the beginning, you might have 3 or 4 steps of fast. And then you're going to build more and more duration for that type of focus. So Joy, if you want to try that,
Do you want
it doesn't matter which
around?
way you pick.
Okay, but you can go completely around then?
Yes.
Okay. Murdoch, let's go. And he doesn't have to start and sit.
Nope, you just start. You don't have to start from a sit because this is informal. It's having fun.
Murdoch. Ready? Go.
Okay,
Let's go. Feel. Yes. 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 Yes.
so encouragement is
Yes.
is the name of the game.
Yes.
Tail's going. He's looking.
Yeah.
He's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, break it off.
Yes. Good boy. Break.
Okay, so if you notice, it was a little bit of movement. Tail was going, dog was having fun, getting a lot of feedback. So what you're building is, healing is fun. It's a great thing to do. So again, just to demonstrate, if you're going to have a loss of attention, uh-oh, let's go. So just as quickly as that. So the dog forges a little bit, do the same thing. The dog gets too wide, way too wide, do the same thing, but give her lots of slack, and just have fun with that. So it's informal, it's action-oriented, feedback, and having fun, paying attention. Because again, if you can't get attention from your dog in healing, they don't know what you're doing, and you start losing them, they wander off. So all this stuff, between the precision and the dynamic here, drives that focus on you having fun, looking for in anticipation, what is the next command. All right. So in summary, what we've done today is some basic healing work. We've covered off the yes component, where you'd use it in the ring, where you train your dog that yes, just like watch, is pay attention to me. We've worked on the one step, or the healing, where you would use preferably your left leg to move forward. Practice that before you have your dog with you. And then with your dog, heal half a step, reward. No sit, anything. So what you're looking for is the dog to understand when that leg moves, they're to move with you. And then the last item we covered was the healing circle, which is really an informal, fun, run in a circle, pay attention to me, the handler, and have a good time and get rewarded. So those are the 4 things that we covered off today. And if you work on those items, then we can talk about getting into more complex stuff, like complex footwork, how do you make left turns, right turns, etc. So good luck, and hope this helps.